All right. What next? Well, we've got this interesting Rock Island switching locomotive right here. The bottom is all die-cast metal. It's a nice looking locomotive. Nice looking. Headlight right there. It's a nice looking locomotive. I don't know how well this locomotive runs because I haven't tested this yet. It would have been nice to have like a lens right there too, instead of just having a little hole right there, you know. Yeah. And there's the bottom. I don't know if it's supposed to have a plate that covers this or not. I don't think it does, actually. The only bad thing about this locomotive is when you try to install knuckle couplers on this engine, okay, it keeps the shell from snapping all the way on. You could see that right here. This is supposed to be, you know, this is supposed to be level with this. This is supposed to be level. You're not supposed to be able to see that. So it doesn't allow the shell to go on all the way because it hits the top of the coupler box. So yeah. Yeah, rotten shame about that. So because of that, I will not be keeping this locomotive. So I'm gonna sell this locomotive on my local Craigslist. If any of you guys see anything in the video that you want to buy, you can contact me. My email address is on the About Me page of this channel, so you can get in contact with me. If you want this cute little switch engine, you know, you can get in contact with me. I'll sell it cheap. All right. Next up, okay, let me zoom out a little bit. I mean, wow. Next up, we got this Santa Fe locomotive. I think these are called U-boats. I think they're called U-boats. Or U-36Bs, I think is what this is. A U-36B. Trying to find a place where I put the damn box. Okay. Yeah, U-36B, I think is what they call this. I like the fact that it's got the yellow and black striping like that. A lot of these U-boats don't have that. They just have the red outline, but they don't have that, you know, Santa Fe's signature yellow and black outline, you know, which I think it really makes that look cool. I don't even know who makes this. Oh, this is Bachmann. Made in Hong Kong. So that right there dates this locomotive because, you know, it's got traction tires. It's made in Hong Kong. And the last time stuff was made in Hong Kong was, in fact, the 70s. As far as toy stuff, you know, so that definitely dates this to, you know, the late 70s. But yeah, it's still a nice looking locomotive. I want to see if that front emblem is painted or a decal. It appears to be painted. It doesn't look like a decal. It appears to be painted. For being a 70s locomotive from the 70s, the detailing on this looks pretty nice. There's actually numbers in these number plates right here. Got your dual headlight there, dual headlight there. Actually got your clear plastic glass, you know, you got your not overly sized, you know, typical Bachmann railing. This is a little bit more prototypical. It's not as large as usual. Yeah, I like the horn detail on the top. That's pretty nice. Yeah. There's the back of it. Now that's nice. When it actually has the number detailing like that from a locomotive from the 70s, yeah, that's actually pretty nice. Very nice. Anyway, this is the powered unit. Okay, this is the powered unit. I also have the dummy unit that goes with that. Now these two locomotives, this powered and dummy set of these U-boats I am selling, so if you want to buy these, and I'm selling them cheap, if you want to buy these, just contact me through my email. My email is on the About Me page. This one appears to be just like the other one, except, you know, body-wise, except it's a dummy locomotive, it's not powered. Now you will need to do some work on these engines, like you know, maybe give them a sponge bath, you know, add some couplers, you know, change out the horn hook couplers to Katie's or whatever. But yeah, this one says Bachmann, Hong Kong, so this is definitely from the 70s. I know a lot of you, even though Bachmann has developed a bad name, you know, a bad reputation as far as their quality, I know many of you actually collect these older Bachmann and Tyco and Lifelike locomotives because, you know, they're part of our model railroading history, and a lot of you just collect these and you put them in a display case because they are nice to look at. They're still nice looking locomotives, you know, nice looking locomotive. Yeah. Still nice looking. Let me get my hands out of the way so you can see the whole thing. Yeah. All right. What next? Well, we've got this beautiful Union Pacific locomotive, and yes, this one's for sale. I'll sell it really cheap. Feels like a heavy, more modern locomotive, like it, you know, has flywheels and has a lot more detailing on it. Also, the hand railings are closer to prototypical hand railings. They're not so big and gaudy looking, you know. And then painted window wipers. So that dates this locomotive. This is probably from the 90s or early 2000s, believe it or not. This one here, just by the way it's made. It's very nice. Very nice. Got the knuckle Katie couplers already on it. Might have to put some grease them in there, get them to work really good. But I haven't cleaned this one yet. I haven't dusted it. I'm going to let the buyer do that. This locomotive is for sale. If you want to buy it, I'll sell it real cheap. It appears to be a real nice locomotive. Yeah, I can tell this is a more modern locomotive, a newer model, because you can see the detailings right here. And the way these hand railings are done, yeah, I can just tell. And I know this has flywheels. I know that for a fact. And then it's got the the number boards right there, actually printed there. You know, it's got the fine stripe detailing on that. That's very nice. And then the bottom, I don't know who makes that. Let me see if I can use my magnifying glass and take a look at that. Oh, wow. Wow. This here is a Rivarossi diesel. I didn't know that Rivarossi made diesel locomotives. I thought they only made steam engines, but no. This is a rare Rivarossi diesel locomotive made in Italy. I thought it felt really heavy. I mean, oh my God, this thing's heavy. And then it's got your grill detailing right there. It's actually, you can see through the grill right there. So this one is actually a very nice locomotive. It's got the Katy couplers. You know, it's got your Katy couplers on both ends. Katy couplers, okay, on both ends. Yeah, look at that, the width. And the way these trucks are made, they allow an opening there for you to stick your oil in or grease or whatever in there. Yeah, it's pretty nice. But yeah, that says Rivarossi. It has a Rivarossi emblem right there. But yeah, look at that. Pretty engine. That's a beautiful engine. So if any of you want to buy this locomotive, just let me know. This one I'll sell for 50 bucks. 50 bucks plus the cost of shipping. Imagine that. A beautiful Rivarossi diesel locomotive, Union Pacific, you know, road name, you know, $50. So wait, I'll take it back, $60. I want 60 bucks for this one. And you know it's worth it. It's worth it. Just look at the detailing on that. Yeah, this is really nice. Very nice locomotive. Just look at that detailing. That is so nice. Yeah, I think it's worth 60 bucks. Yeah, that's a nice locomotive. All right, next up, I think this one is a, let me use my magnifying glass to see what it is. This one is a lifelike. Appears to have been made in Malaysia. So, and this one has, it appears to have like brass type wheels in the rear, so that's definitely late 70s, early 80s for that. Horn hook couplers, but there's that locomotive. It's pretty. I like it. I think it's a pretty locomotive. I'm not going to keep it. This one's for sale. If any of you want to buy this locomotive, it feels really heavy, like it's well made for being a lifelike. You know. Yeah. That emblem, I think it's painted. I don't think it's a decal. Yeah. So, yeah, it appears to be in really nice shape. Very nice shape. You just need to change out the horn hook couplers for KDs, unless you use horn hook couplers. A lot of people do. So, yeah. Yeah, it's a nice looking locomotive. And it's definitely a nice one to put in your display case. If you just like collect these and you put them in a display case to look at them, like a lot of people collect Matchbox cars or Hot Wheels cars or whatever, and they put them in display cases to look at them because, you know, they like looking at them, like admiring them. Well, there's a lot of people that collect these old lifelike locomotives and these old Tyco locomotives and Rivarossi locomotives and old Bachmann locomotives, and they put them in display cases just to look at them. They don't even run them. They never run them. So, yeah, but this is a nice looking one. This one appears to be brand new. Like a brand new locomotive. I mean, just look at that. It's like brand new. Yeah. Look at that. It's like brand new. Like the guy that I got these trains from, he never ran this engine. It appears brand new. I mean, it's got a little bit of wear on those wheels there, but I don't think he ran this train that much. Yeah, I don't think he ran this train that much, this engine that much. Anyway, this one's for sale. So if you want to buy it, I'll sell it to you cheap. Just get in contact with me. All right. What next? All right, up next, we have this beautiful, it looks like a 284 steam locomotive. This locomotive was made in Italy by Rivarossi. It's a beautiful steam engine. It just needs to be dusted. The shell needs to be taken off and just washed, period. But it's just a beautiful steam engine. I mean, just look at that. Look at the detailing on that locomotive. I mean, oh my God. Just a beautiful engine. Wow, just look at the detailing on that. Wow. Look at all the hand railings and look at that. It's just so beautiful. Just so nice. Yeah, that is just so frickin' nice. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah, that is really nice. There's the other side of it. Right there. The other side of this beautiful locomotive. Just look at that. And there's the typical motor, the classic Rivarossi motor, and the way they did the brush springs on the back. But just look at the detailing on this. I mean, oh my God. Look at that. I guarantee you this has all brass gears in there. Bet you it's all brass gears. Just look at that. When was the last time you've seen a locomotive like that? A steam engine like this. Look at that. So it picks up from the tender apparently too. Yeah, this one's really dusty. He's had this one in storage for a while, so that's why it's so dusty. But yeah, as long as nothing is broken, I don't mind it being a little dusty. It gives me something to do on my locomotive, just clean it or whatever. But I'm not keeping this one. I am going to sell this one. I want $100 for this locomotive, and I think that's fair. $100 plus the cost of shipping. There's nothing wrong with this engine. I don't think it has any missing parts. It appears to be all complete. It's a real nice engine. Like I said, it's dirty. It just needs to be, the shell needs to be taken off and washed, and the drivetrain probably needs to be cleaned. The usual. It needs to be cleaned and lubricated, and then this would be a nice running locomotive. It really will be. I mean, just look at that, how beautiful that engine is. Look at the rear, all the grab irons on it and everything. It's just so nice the way this was made. Yeah, I just love these old Rivarossi steam engines. Just look at that. Only reason why I'm not keeping it is because I'm in the diesels. I like the switching engines. I like the old Jeeps. I like passenger locomotives. I like the F units, Santa Fe F units or whatever. That's what I'm into. I've never really been a steam person, but I know a lot of people are. They're into steam locomotives. Okay. I also have the tender to this beautiful locomotive. It too is filthy. I'll try to dust off some of it with the brush, but it needs to be washed. This thing, the shell just needs to be taken off the bottom part here, and this just needs to be washed, period. Yeah, it just needs to be washed. But that's okay. That's the tender that Riverosi steam engine. Okay, that's that side there, and nothing appears to be broken on it. It's just filthy, just dirty. Needs to be cleaned and washed or whatever, you know. There's the top part. Got your hand railings, you know. It's really nice. It's got your detailing on the back, you know. Very nicely detailed on that. Just replace that horn hook coupler with a KD, unless you just want to keep it on there. A lot of people, like I said, they just display these old locomotives like this in their in a display case just to look at them because they think they're really nice, you know, they're beautiful. But yeah, apparently the tender also picks up power from the tracks, so because that's a metal pin there, and you have you can see the little wipes that wipes the axles on the wheels, you know. So it's a shame that this tender is not lit up. Maybe that's something one of you can do when you own this beautiful steam locomotive, is you can drill that out, put a little tiny warm white 2mm LED in there, right? And have it hooked up to where when it's running down the track, you know, it'll light up that light in the back. Yeah. But yeah, I'm selling that steam locomotive for only $100. So, yeah. Okay. If you buy the steam engine, remind me, and I'll throw in this Riverosi boxcar for free. I'll throw this in for free, this Riverosi boxcar. Yes, it's by Riverosi. I didn't know it, but I found out recently that Riverosi also made rolling stock. And these doors, they do open up and close, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so there's that 40-foot truck, or boxcar I mean, 40-foot boxcar, by, you know, made in Italy by Riverosi. You know, there's the bottom of it. Now that's weird. It's got metal wheels on this truck, but plastic wheels on that truck. If any of you know why Riverosi would do that, please leave a comment. You know, I'm curious about that. You know. Yeah, Riverosi. But yeah, I'll include this 40-foot boxcar for free. If you buy that Riverosi 284 steam locomotive from me, I'll include this boxcar in the deal for free. Probably just needs cleaning, some KD couplers, you know. This would be a good low running boxcar. I think it's from the steam era, so it'll fit with that steam locomotive really well. All right, next up I have some very nice freight cars to show. This one right here is Hood's Grade A Milk, a very nice wooden reefer from the steam era. It's got your ice chutes up on the top here where they would load in, you know, blocks of ice to keep the milk cold, you know. Very nice car. Very nice detailing. Got your knuckle couplers right there, which is really nice, these knuckle couplers. Next up, we got this really nice limited edition Hobby Warehouse. I think it's a 50-foot box car. Oregon's largest family hobby complex. Yeah. I don't know if you can read that or not, but there's that car. Yeah. It's a nice car. This is the longest length rolling stock that I'll be running on my switching layout. And all of these cars, they have the knuckle couplers, so that's nice. Next up, we've got this really nice cement hopper right here. Very nice cement hopper. Very nicely detailed. You know, yeah, these short covered hoppers were usually used for transporting cement because cement is very heavy. And the longer covered hoppers were usually used for transporting grain. So they're usually called grain cars, the longer covered hopper cars. But yeah, I gotta be careful because this metal piece slides out, and I don't know what to use to glue that in or to make sure it doesn't come out, you know. When I'm setting this car on the track or taking it up off the track, I wouldn't want this heavy metal, die-cast metal piece to drop out, hit the track, or hit one of my buildings or whatever. So if any of you know what to use to fasten this to the plastic, you know, let me know in the comments. But yeah, it's a really sharp looking, you know, cement car. Okay, this is the typical 40-foot freight car right here that I will be running on my layout. I'll be running mostly this type of car, 50-foot box cars or reefers, about this size, you know. Different road names, different colors, so it'd be easier for me to keep track of which car is which, you know. So yeah. And what I'll do is I'll take a picture of each one of these cars, and then I'll print out the pictures on like labels, peel and stick labels. You can buy it like your local store, you know. You print them out on your printer, and then you peel and stick them on a 3x5 card, right? And then you shuffle up those cars. Let's say you have 8 cars on your switching layout, okay? And you shuffle up the cards and you lay the cards out, okay? And certain cards go to each industry. And so you have to use your switch engine or switch engines. Sometimes I use 2 switch engines that work together. Okay, you have to figure out, you know, the best way to move each one of those cars to the industries that they go in front of, that they service. Okay, and every time you shuffle the cards and you do this, and there's literally hundreds of thousands of different combinations that you can come up with. So it's never really the same. The cars are never really the same, and so it becomes a lot of fun seeing it. Not only if you can do it, if you can put each car in front of each industry where they go, but how fast can you do it? How efficient are you at, you know, switching these freight cars around, you know? But yeah, I like the detailing on this box car. It's really nice. The doors on all the box cars and reefers, they open up. So you got your knuckle couplers. Okay, next up, we've got this. This is referred to, it's a 40-foot boxcar, but it's referred to as a high cube boxcar because it's a little bit taller than your normal boxcar. In fact, let me put them side by side and you'll see, you know, the difference. It's a little bit higher, you know, a little bit taller than your standard size boxcar, but they're the same length. See, they're the same length. So, yeah. But anyway, yeah. Different color boxcar. I gotta take a damp sponge and wipe the dust off the roof. I like to keep my cars clean. You know, a lot of people weather their cars to make them look more realistic, but I don't actually like doing that. I prefer my rolling stock, like, you know, my railroad, we keep our trains nice and clean. We wash our trains every Friday or whatever, every Monday or whatever. We wash our cars, we send them through the wash, you know. We especially wash our locomotives, keep them nice and clean, you know. Yeah. The Hans Campbell layout, oh yeah, we keep our trains looking like new, okay? Okay. Anyway, there's that boxcar. And next we have this beautiful Great Northern high cube boxcar. I just love that logo. I love this blue color too. I mean, oh my God. Beautiful blue color. I'm thinking about painting one of my Commodore 64C computers this color. I think that the beige keys would look really good with this blue color. It would look really good. But look at that. Yeah, pretty nice. I like it. Anyway. Next up, we've got some buildings to show you. Well, I've got some buildings to show you. We've got this platform right here by Model Power platform. There's some more buildings on the back that you can buy from Model Power to assemble, you know. Yeah. A lot of times what you can do, like with a building like this, or like this, you can cut the side pieces, okay? And so you create like a background building that's only like an inch, like 1 or 2 inches deep. And those are like, you can just create different type of background buildings. You know, you don't need the whole building because this just goes up against your back 1/4-inch wood paneling that's painted sky blue, you know, to create the illusion of sky or whatever. And you have these buildings right up against that sky blue background, and it looks pretty realistic. It really does. Now, I'm not going to use all of this. I'm just going to use, wait, let me show the instructions. Now this building doesn't have decals, it has things that you cut out, and I guess you're supposed to use wood glue or whatever to stick them where they go. That's kind of hokey. And here's the actual instructions for this building. You know, I mean this platform right here. Okay. I'm just going to use these parts here for my switching layout. And I'll tell you what it's going to be used for. I'm just going to use just this part right here. And I'll take modeling putty to fill in these holes. And I'll feather it in so it'll blend right in. It'll look really good. And the same thing with that right there. And then I'll glue it in place. And I'll spray paint the whole thing with a flat concrete spray paint. Let that dry for about a week, because it takes a week for enamel paint to dry, to fully dry. And then I'll dry brush it with some flat greens and browns to make it look like it's weathered, like it's been out in the weather for a while, you know. And what this is for, I think this is called like an interchange track, or you guys let me know in the comments. You probably know exactly what this. But what this is for, you'll often see this next to a siding. And what it's used for, the railroad would drop off 1 or 2 boxcars next to this. And then companies would drive their trucks up and they would unload the freight that's in the boxcars into the trucks, and they would take off. And then the railroad would send a switch engine to pick up those cars and drop off, other cars that have more freight in them. And so that was a way for companies to pick up their freight, small companies that don't have that much freight, okay, without them having to drive to the different spots where the trains keep the cars parked. They would just park the boxcars right here next to the siding, and then the companies, they'd have their drivers pull in their semi-trucks. Their workers would take like a forklift, whatever. They'd unload the train car, the boxcar or whatever, with the goods, load it into their truck, and they take off. So that's what this is going to be used for. It's going to be on one of the sidings. Yeah. Now, I don't throw anything away, because anything like this, you can use stuff like this for kit bashing. Like, I can cut that into smaller roofs and use that as a roof for like little sheds or whatever, little carports or whatever. But you never throw stuff like this away, because they're perfect for kit bashing. All right. Now this next building, I plan on showing it in more detail. I'm going to make a video just on this building, because this is a really cool building. I'm going to remove the shrink wrap, and we're going to take a look at the parts. We're going to take a look at how this building was made, and how the parts were pre-painted. I mean, it's just an absolutely cool building. They just don't make stuff like this anymore. Okay? They just don't make stuff like this anymore. Now, even though this says Lifelike, I think it was a European company that made these buildings. And then Lifelike, of course, bought them out. Because I guarantee on the bottom of these buildings, it'll say something like Pola or Helijan or some European company, that produced these. But yeah, you can either have this L shape like it's shown here on the box, or you can have it like straight. And so this would make a good building put in between tracks, or as a background building, a smaller background building. This would be, this would be good for that. But yeah, look at that. This is a cool building. Really cool building. So we will be taking a look at this building in more detail in a later episode. But anyway, this building cost, what was it, $10.95 for that building. Well, that right there gives it away how old this building is, because today that building is about $40 or $50 for that building. Oh yeah, they're not cheap. But yeah, we will be taking a closer look at this building in a near future episode, so stay tuned for that. Okay, I've got some buildings and some other stuff to show that I got in this HO scale lot for only $250. This one here is Cycle Repair Shop, small town, HO scale structure. That type of a building. I'll show you guys how to put one of these together. The do's and don'ts of assembling these buildings and making them look realistic. Next up, we have, by Pike Stuff, we have the distribution center. All right. Yeah, the HO scale distribution center. Okay. And it's this type of stuff here, yeah, When these are assembled, these are actually very nice looking buildings, very nice kits. So I got that one. These are a little dusty. I also got this one, Kit Basher series, modern 2-story office building, HL scale. That would be good for like in a classification yard or some kind of, any kind of like a business industry. But that would look good like in a classification yard. Yeah, like a yard. And then here's, you know, the parts right here. Yeah. And then I got this piece here. It was part of, I think, a Tyco thing. I'm just gonna. This could be just be set somewhere on the layout, like near a freight house or freight station or whatever business. You know, these big crates. You know, or you can use this as like a flat car load. You know, use that. You know, just weather it, do some dry brushing on to bring out the details, make it look a little bit weathered. You know, but I think that'd be pretty cool for that. All right. I got in a few HL scale cargo containers, and I think I also have at least one semi-truck trailer. So I'll show those. They're all by Wathers. A 48-foot smooth side container, Bay City's leasing. So there's that one. It's kind of weird the way it's made, the way it looks. Nice detailing on the ends, you know. Another was a 48 rib side container, AMP. Next we have, they all appear to be 48 foot. Okay, 48 foot ribside container, Santa Fe. So there's that one. It's weird the way they look on the top. This is the top. You would think this is the bottom, but no, that's the top. That's the bottom, right there. Okay, here is a 40-foot high cube reefer container. Very colorful looking container. This is your standard type of container right here. Cargo container right here. Yeah. I think it looks nice. Here's another 40-foot high cube container. Got some detailing on the end. That's pretty cool. Here's another 40-foot high cube reefer container. That one there. Got nice detailing on the ends. And this here is a 40-foot van trailer for a semi-truck. That's what that is. I think it's like Pennsylvania Railroad. Yeah, Pennsylvania. That's what it looks like. Instructions that tell you how to put on the wheels and the tires and the kickstand support, you know. You usually would have these parked like at a loading dock or something like that, where you would park these. Alright, next up, you've got a box full of KD HO scale coupler stuff. We got a bunch of these, like number 5 Magnamatic KD couplers. These are your standard couplers for most of your freight cars. Right here. And we also have a bunch of these number 13s. I don't know what the difference is. I think it has to do with the height of the coupler, you know. If we were to compare them, I think it has to do with the height. I think on number 5, the coupler is basically centered on this shank part right here. Whereas on the number 13, as you can see in the picture, the coupler is a little bit higher than the shank. And then they have others where the coupler is lower than the shank. So it just depends on, because the coupler should line up. No matter what body or what truck you put them on, you know, all the couplers should line up straight with each other. So that's the reason why you have the various, you know, where the coupler is as in relation to the shank. You also have different length shanks. Okay, you have different length shanks too. So, yeah. And then there's, what is this? A number 37 coupler. I don't know what that would be used for, but that's a number 37. And then we have a 7-11 coupler. Yeah, I don't know what that would be used for. Then we have one of my favorite of these KD couplers, and that's the number 148s and 147s. These are my favorites. I think the main difference between the 148 and 147 and 148s is the shank length. One is a little bit shorter than the other. I believe that's the only difference. But I like using these on my DCC equipped or sound equipped Bachmann Alco S2 or Alco S4 locomotives, switching locomotives. These are great. They're made out of metal. They're very nice couplers. They come with a little box, you know, the coupler box and everything. And I'm going to do an episode where I show you guys how to install these couplers, these really nice KD couplers, on a Bachmann DCC equipped Alco S2 or Alco S4 switching locomotives. So stay tuned for that exciting episode. Okay. Then we have, well, I got a 37, number 37 coupler. Okay, so I got 2 of those apparently, 2 packs of them, of the 37 couplers. So I better put this with this one. Alrighty. And then we have the 2 types of magnets that go on your track. This one here goes under the track. You have the magnet and you have the plate, the steel plate. And these go under the track. You cut like a little hole in your cork road bed that this magnet fits into. Okay, and then the track goes over that magnet. And you cover the magnet with your ballast. You don't even see the magnet. But so you have to, since you can't see the magnet underneath the track, you have to have something on the side here, like a little sign or something, so that you can know where the magnet is. So that you can pull your couplers over there and add some slack to the train, and it will automatically uncouple the car, the cars or the car from the locomotive. These are the ones I prefer using because you don't see the uncoupling magnet. Okay. The second type, which I have also used, some people prefer these because you can see the magnet. You can add like just the magnet part itself. You can glue that on the top of any straight piece of track. And of course, because you can see the magnet, you know exactly where to put, where you line up your couplers over the magnet. A lot of people prefer the number 13. But it looks like both of these are number 13s. What is up with that? Except this is number 308. Right, and this is 321. So there's your two styles of uncoupling magnets by KD. Yeah. Okay. Here is the rest of the stuff that I got in this HO scale trains lot from Craigslist. Keep in mind that everything that I showed you in this video series, I only paid $250 for everything. So you tell me in the comments section if I got a good deal or not. Anyway, this is the rest of it right here. I didn't think that any of this was good enough to show in their own separate videos, but I did want to show it. All of this stuff here is for sale. I'll be selling all of this. I don't want any of this, but yeah. But yeah. All right. Well, looks like I found some more stuff that's part of this lot, this huge lot of HO scale trains that I purchased on Craigslist for only $250. But yeah, this should be all of it. Anyway, that's it for this series of videos. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more exciting content here on Campbell's Trains. My name is Hans George Campbell, and until next time.